been to this trail. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, this one's gorgeous.
Are you a hiker in general?
I'm no thing, Brie.
So sorry to pigeonhole you. You know what? Why would I ask that?
Oh, no.
I know you better than that.
Right.
Do you, okay, speaking of that, you know like the Myers-Briggs and like the, what's the other one? There's the other one. Myers-Briggs and,
Enneagram?
there we go. So people are like obsessed with it, right?
Yeah.
And I refuse to do it because I get stressed. I'm like, I'm not just a number.
I'm not, yeah.
I'm not
an INFJ.
I'm not just a fucking number.
Right.
I'm like, well, they're like, you're such a 7 or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't like the way that makes me feel because maybe that day I feel that way, but then
Right.
the next day maybe I feel differently.
Right. Yeah, the Enneagram is like Christian astrology.
Oh, is that true? I don't know enough about it, so I'm kind of talking shit. But
Basically. No, it's actually pretty interesting because my parents are really into it.
Okay.
And I never really was into it, but I am into astrology.
Yes.
And as they were talking about it, I was like, oh, it's the same thing. It's just in a different mask.
Okay.
So people who would maybe identify themselves as Christian could do the same thing as astrology, because I guess like a lot of people, or some people who would identify Christian, think astrology's not
Yes,
good.
yes.
Which I don't know. It's all the same thing though. That's what's so cool is everything like you can just use different language and
Sure.
like explain the same thing.
What's your sign? Not that I don't
The
follow-
Enneagram one?
No, like your
Oh.
astrology sign.
Oh, I'm a Gemini sun.
Okay, it's like I'm asking, but I don't follow it, so
Okay.
I don't know.
Cool.
I know that I'm a Sagittarius. I also know everything that I've read about a Sagittarius. I'm like, that ain't me.
But you know what? That's good because it's like your sun is one aspect. So
Right.
like, ooh,
Nope.
hey guy,
Nope.
you don't like bugs?
No.
Why?
Maybe because, I don't know. I'm a priss. I don't love a bug. Not that
That's
I want
not
them
a
to
reason.
die. I want them to be happy and thrive. I just don't want to be around them. Same thing
Fair
with
enough.
bees.
I thought you were gonna say same thing with people.
No, I actually love people. I feel like, I don't know if it's a thing, but I feel like I'm like an extroverted introvert. Remember how we were just talking about love being alone, love it, but I also really get filled up with like conversations like this and being around people I love. So I don't know, but then I get like tired and I need to be alone.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means.
I'm the same way. That means you're an INFJ KP12.
What did you just say,
I
Roy?
don't know. That's not a thing. Actually, INFJ is definitely a thing, but
I don't even know what that is.
it's the Myers-Briggs
Oh, okay.
lettering system for defining who you are.
Stresses me out.
Yeah, I get it.
What were we just talking about?
Astrology.
Okay, so that I'm a Sagittarius, but then my other
Yeah.
one, I'm a Leo.
Your moon.
Yes, and then isn't there 3?
Yeah. Your sun is
I don't know what that one
Sag.
is.
Your moon is Leo, and then your ascending.
Don't know it.
So the ascending one is a big one because that's basically what you are working towards becoming. So like my sun is a Gemini, which is very mind oriented. It's really quick. But my ascending is a Libra, which is balance.
Okay.
And so like in my younger days, I was very Gemini, just like,
Sure.
but then as I've, like done self-work and
Yes.
things, I'm very Libra now.
Okay, and like, Gemini, is that a fire sign?
Gemini is an
No.
air sign,
I know that mine are fire signs. I don't know.
but Leo is a fire sign. My moon is a Leo though.
Okay. And isn't that how you like present to the world or something?
The sun is how you present to the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
I almost just stepped in that dog shit.
You know.
I know
things.
Yeah, but I don't follow it. Like I know things. I know this much. Because, I think it's interesting, but I don't know. I know people are like, oh, I never date a Gemini or something. I'm like, that must be exhausting to live like that.
No.
I mean, you do you, but.
Yeah, I think anything that you allow to define who you are, it's like, why?
Myers-Briggs.
Myers-Briggs. Fuck Myers-Briggs.
Enneagram. Can't do it.
And that stuff can change too, because I remember
Yeah.
I took it. My school made us take them like freshman year, and I got something that was like
That's crazy.
totally different than what I got my senior year of high school.
Sure. Well, you would hope you'd be a different person, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I was an idiot.
I was an idiot
When
too.
you think back, you're just like, what
were you like as a
doing?
kid? Describe yourself as a kid.
I was the perfect child all the time.
I can see that.
I wanted to be perfect, and it was psychotic. And I still struggle with perfectionism, to be honest.
Interesting. So did you struggle with people pleasing?
Probably. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, which is so manipulative, because when you're people pleasing, you're really just manipulating people to like you. And it's like, that's not real. Yeah. That's not being genuine at all,
right.
You know?
And then people like you less.
Yes, we were just talking about that. It's like boundaries were, especially women, I think our society's like, be nice and be accommodating. And when in actuality, it actually makes people have less respect for you. Your boundaries actually, people respect you more, they like you more, because there's a authenticity that they feel.
Yeah.
That they don't have to, and then they don't have to pretend to be somebody else either. Gives them permission to like, also be like, hey, I love you, I don't have space or time for this, whatever it is.
That's
you know?
so real.
And that's how I want my people to feel in my life. Like, don't ever be afraid to, I don't know, if I'm coming to you for something and you don't have the capacity for it, like, that's okay.
I noticed that about you, like, probably the first time that we met, and I was like, you have that thing where you're centered and being in yourself, and you're just there, and so you allow other people to do that.
Thanks.
And that's such a gift that you're able to give people.
Oh, that's so nice, thank you. I felt the same way about you. That first night that we met, which I don't know if anybody knows, I met you through my...
What was the first one?
I don't know, it was...
I don't really remember the first...
Wasn't it Michael's birthday? At downtown, at what's it called? The game place. I think that might have been the first time. I don't know why.
Was that the first time I met you?
I think so, but also maybe not. It's the first memory I have, because I remember after we met and we were driving home, I literally said to Brian, I was like, is Roy the nicest person of all time? And he's like, yeah, he is. He's the kindest person you'll ever meet. I'm like, he's lovely. But yeah, I felt the same way about you.
I think a lot of people, at least in my life, who are close friends, they've gone through things in their life that have shaped them to be able to be that way.
Oh yeah.
To be able to give other people that gift of being themselves. Because you have to give the gift to yourself first. You have to be able to be fully you, allow yourself that gift and that presence. And a part of it, I think, is boundaries, like you were saying.
I think it's all fucking boundaries. I mean, mostly, at least in my experience. The relationship I had before Brian, and he knows all this, like that, never been so heartbroken in my life. Like, this person like ripped my heart out, and it literally changed me. I don't think I would have been ready for my relationship now, this partnership, had I not gone through that, because it opened up so much of my own bullshit, like my lack of boundaries and my codependency and like my perfectionism and all these things. Damn, there's so many. What kind of beetles
Stink
are those?
bugs.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
I don't want that stink.
I love it.
Yeah, before they fucking wreak havoc and stink. Anyway, it's so beautiful here. Wow. Yeah, so I really oddly, I'm grateful for that, because I'm a completely different person than then, you know?
It's so cool that you can look back on that relationship though, and even though it ripped your heart out, you can see the gift that it gave you.
And he's not a bad guy. He's a sweet guy, but it just wasn't meant to be. Like, I'm meant to be with Brian. So it's like, it all works out the way it's supposed to, you know? You can never see it in the moment, but.
Did you always think that you were gonna get married?
Yeah, I think I definitely was like love addicty. So like, I don't consider myself that anymore. But I think definitely, it's like the idealized version of that. Yeah, do you?
Don't throw the question back at me.
This is a conversation, Roy.
Yeah.
We go back and forth. That's how it works.
That's how it works? Okay.
You don't have to know.
I've always thought that I was gonna get married, but I also always thought that it was gonna be way sooner.
Yeah.
And there's no one in sight at the moment, so it might be a while.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 35.
Bro, I'm about to be 35 in November. Did that hit harder than your 30? Like just turning 30s? Or turning
Way
30?
more.
I literally
Because I'm 50.
mid 30s.
Yeah.
There's something
Yeah.
weird. There's something in there. And it's not that it's old. That is not old by any means.
It's not.
For some reason saying I'm going to be in my mid 30s.
Mid 30s is different.
Mid 30s here. What if you just face planted? I would have
I would love
I would
it.
if you edited it out, I would have been so
No,
mad at
you
you.
can't edit that out.
No.
There's no editing here.
No.
This is all facts.
No. Yeah, 35 really hit hard, thank you.
Yeah.
Watch me eat shit right now.
I like how you just said thank you, like I was letting you go first, but I wasn't.
Did I just go? Did I just go?
No, that was hard. That was hard as fuck.
I'm all, thank you so much for, you're like, I didn't do anything, you just took it.
But you know what, that's good, because I'm just like, oh yeah, I was being a gentleman.
Yeah, just lean into it.
Yeah, exactly. You create your own reality, Bree.
That's right. Do you think you create your own reality or you create your own experience with the reality?
I think reality is all your experience anyway. It's all sort of your imagination, so.
Do you think we're in a simulation?
Yes.
Okay.
But I think people misconstrue what that means.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it is a simulation designed for us to experience and know ourselves.
Yes.
But it's not exactly just like a video game. Like, that's just another way to sort of tell a story of what's going on.
I'm sorry, what did you just say? Because all I'm thinking about is fucking coming back down.
I was like,
No, I just realized, I wasn't even listening to what you just said because all I'm thinking about is like, how am I getting back down? This is gonna be, you know what? Hold on, okay, wait. So, okay, repeat that.
Let's wait till we get up this hill, because I'm like,
How out of breath are you right now?
just like a mild 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Simulation.
But you know what though? Worth it.
It is worth it. Staying alive, staying alive. That's good.
It was good. It was good work.
We needed that.
We needed that. So you grew up in Orange County. How was that?
It was nice.
It was nice.
It was nice.
Yeah. I'm sorry for the sniffles. I took so many allergy pills this morning.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, my allergies are a nightmare.
Why do you say sorry?
I do that. I do that. I say sorry about things I don't. Brian's always like, why did you just say sorry? I'm like, I don't know. Sorry.
I wonder what that, because I mean, like, it's a common thing. I do it too.
Yeah. I don't know. Especially because I kept being like, I have such strong boundaries, which I do.
You do though.
I do.
You
but
do.
For some, see, this is good. This is a mirror. That's the next thing I need to work on.
Ta-da.
I need to start getting better at that part. Orange County was nice.
Orange County was nice.
Do you have siblings? Have I asked you this before?
Yeah, I got a younger brother.
Okay.
Who's got 3 boys, little kids. Yeah,
How's it being an uncle?
they're so sweet.
Yeah.
They're so fun. And I have like a bunch of little cousins too. They're all the same age. Like between newborn and like 8, there's like 10 kids. And they're so fun. We went roller skating last week.
Cute.
It was so fun.
Do you want to have kids?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
I do.
You do. You'd be a great dad.
I do. I feel actually with kids, like I was at the roller skating rink and I was like skating around with I have like these little cousins. They're like 5 and 7, I think.
Cute.
2 little girls. And then my nephews, like 3 little boys. And we're all like roller skating around. And I was like, why do I feel like I'm just hanging out with my friends?
Yeah.
And I realized that I was like, a lot of times I understand kids more than I do most like normal adults.
I get that.
Like my friends, I'm like, okay, I like understand my friends. But sometimes I'm like, in the world, I'm just like, whoa, what is happening? But with kids,
people, kids,
yeah, around like adult
so
people.
Pure.
Kids are they're just like gonna say what they think.
Yeah.
And then, but I guess that's probably why we get along, because like you say what you think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember where that tangent was going. It went from some.
No, I just asked if you
but-
wanted kids.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Do you want kids? Not sure.
No, I don't know. I'm grateful he and I are on the same page, 'cause it's very like maybe, but also maybe not. I have.
Sure.
My sister just had a baby, and she's just the most magical. I love her so much. I'm not. You know, like, I mean, this is completely overgeneralizing, so it's not totally completely factual, but a lot of women, when they see babies, like they feel like their ovaries, like they're like, dude, babies, they do nothing for me.
Really?
I feel that way about dogs. I don't.
Your ovaries?
No, not my ovaries. But Joni, it's like, you're my child. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I love
yeah.
you so much.
Sure.
But Matilda, my niece, is really the only baby that's made me feel like, oh my God, I would die for this child. She's
Yeah,
definitely the
yeah.
only one. So I was like, okay, like maybe. Of course, when it's your own, it's different.
Yeah.
She's my blood, of course, but like, so my child, if we ever had one or two or whatever, I'm sure it'd be wonderful. But it's like not anytime soon. Like all I want to do is travel and work and be with Brian. That's all I want to do.
Sounds like a good time.
I know. I'm like,
Honestly,
maybe like for the
having
rest
a
of
kid
our
looks
life.
hard.
Bro.
Even just being around my nephews for
Bro.
2 hours, I'm
I know.
like,
exhausted.
I need a day
I know.
to recharge.
I know.
I don't get how my brother and his wife do it.
How many do they have?
3 boys, from just born to the oldest one, I think is 4. Wow. I don't
But
get
are they
it.
happy?
Yeah.
Tired but happy?
Tired but happy.
I mean, that's what everyone says, right? It's like the most exhausting thing in the world and the best thing in the world.
Yeah, I guess the most rewarding things are hard.
Yeah, of course. I feel like, and I think the most rewarding things are the scariest things. I
Yeah.
always think about that, like, when I get nervous or something about a job going into whatever, I'm like, the best things are probably the scariest.
Okay, when you've gone into like a job that made you really nervous,
Every job makes me nervous, by the way.
every job makes you nervous.
I'm
Why?
always nervous.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. My body, like physiologically, you know, if it's like a fight or flight, my body flies. Like it wants to. That's just the way I'm wired. So I sort of have to I've had to work against that for a long time. And I'll be maybe fighting that forever, but it's fine. Like, I'm just trying to accept that is who I am.
What do you get nervous about?
Well, I mean, for a long time, it was always in work because I don't feel that way in my personal life. I feel like a pretty confident person around in social situations. I feel fine and I like connecting with people. Yeah, work was always, I don't know, you know, there's definitely some like unworthiness in there, feeling like I didn't deserve it or like I wasn't good enough to be there, you know, all that stuff that I feel like everyone fucking, I don't know anyone that doesn't really struggle with stuff like that. You're like, I don't.
Oh, I definitely do.
What if you were just like, interesting, I've never felt that.
Wow, you have problems. No, I definitely feel like that.
Yeah, it's like crazy.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just feel like I have the best job in the world. So I think I love it so much. And I'm sure you feel the same way. So it's like, and you just want to be your best. I always get nervous. I'm just trying. I used to really fight that because I just hate I hate that sensation in my body. I don't like the way it makes me feel. But I'm trying to just accept it. You know, it's like, what's the thing? You like make friends with it. So it's just like whatever the fuck the term is or the phrase.
Right.
So I just try to do that. It's gotten better. I don't know if it'll ever fully be away, but that's okay, you know?
Yeah, it's like you just learn to observe that fear and observe those things
Yeah.
and not get attached to trying to make it go away.
Yeah. It's really great if I'm doing a scene where I need to be nervous or stressed or something. It's fantastic.
Yeah, right.
You know, not so great if I don't need to be like. Then the acting really comes into play.
Right, then you got to be a real
lot of breathing
actor.
exercises. Yes.
Right.
Your breathing exercises help a lot. And like affirmations, I'm a big affirmation person. I also just did hypnotherapy.
Ooh.
I did a few sessions.
How was it?
Obsessed. Gila, I love her.
What did you get hypnotized with?
Trying to, whatever that like core memory, sort of like trauma that makes me feel nervous or unworthy to be there, or whatever, like whatever I learned as a kid, I was kind of trying to just like undo that. And I think we got a lot of places. She's wonderful. She's like, look, most people do 3 sessions, maybe 4. This isn't something you do your whole life, which I loved, because she was like, she's not trying to like take my money. She's like, we're trying to heal it, whatever it is, and then you move on with your life. I might do another one with her. It's a really wild experience. Have you ever done it?
I've never done it.
It's wild, because you're aware, but at least the best way I could describe it, you feel like you're like under like a weighted blanket. Like everything felt very heavy, and my eyes felt really deep back in my sockets. And you're aware, and you could come out of it if you wanted to, but it is you are feeling hypnotized. It's bizarre.
Whoa.
And she's not even here, so it was via Zoom.
Wow.
Because your eyes are closed anyway, so she's like, it's all the same. You're just hearing her voice.
Sure, that makes sense.
I adored her. If you ever want someone, she's great. She's fantastic. And it's all very positive. So
Yeah.
like if you go to like some sort of trauma that you're trying to sort of have a different perspective on now and change the way you view it, everything then is positive. She doesn't ever let you sit in any, even if you're like getting upset or whatever, everything ends positive, which is lovely. So that you associate all that now with that rather than with the sad part of it or something.
Sure.
You know? She's great. Because no one gets out unscathed, right, in their childhood.
No, it doesn't matter how great your childhood
No.
was.
Like, I love my parents, and I'm very lucky. My parents are wonderful. I love my sister, but like, you know, we all got
yeah.
shit, you know.
Heck yeah, even just the trauma of being a human and being a child, like, or like when I'm a firstborn, and there's always the trauma for the firstborn where like when the secondborn comes, it's like your mom is taken away from you and you're like, like, who's this new little guy who's getting the attention because you had all the attention.
Sure.
And I'm like, it's interesting that I decided to be an artist, and there's probably some of that embedded in it, wanting attention.
Yeah.
And that's something that a lot of people go through.
Yeah.
And it's very unconscious, but like it's some of the roots of like just the nature of growing up. Or if you're a middle child, there's like things that go along with that, or a youngest child.
Yep.
It's wild.
Were you always like super artsy and like, did you know, or did you do like sports growing up?
I was so bad at sports. When I was like really young, they put me in soccer because I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But I just like sat in the field and picked flowers. And then like,
By the way, of course.
yeah. I was like, why is everyone yelling? And
Just like, let's all be friends.
I didn't understand. And then like when
That
I
is
finally
so
wanted to
funny.
play, I like did it, but I was like, oh, I see what's going on here. And I dribbled the ball, but I was going the wrong way, and I scored on myself, on my team. I was bad at sports.
Were your parents supportive of that? Like they're like, all right, this isn't his thing, or did they kind of keep being like, just keep trying?
No, they were pretty supportive.
Yeah.
Well, my dad also like was never into sports.
Okay.
So I didn't really grow up around it, which is probably also why I wasn't good at them, because I didn't
Totally.
grow up with someone who was like, let's throw the ball around.
Yeah.
Because my dad's very artistic.
Are they still together?
They're still together, yeah.
Same.
I did do ballet though.
Work.
When
Yes, you did.
But dude, ballet was sick. I was like,
Ballet's hard.
ballet's super hard.
It's so hard.
But I only did it when I was really young.
Is there footage? I would like to see
I don't
that. if
think
there is.
so.
All right, well,
It was so dope though. I had like my blonde bowl cut.
yes, that's correct.
And I had tights.
Yep.
And my tap shoes and ballet
Yes,
shoes.
tap.
Because I wanted to be an actor at first.
Okay.
When I was little, I always wanted to be an actor.
Okay.
And my mom was like, well, if you want to act, you got to learn how to dance. And the school didn't have like acting classes, but she's like, you can learn how to dance. So I was like, yeah, like super amped. And I was like ripping in ballet. But you know what's crazy is I was like, you know, like as we do, like unpack our pasts.
Yeah.
And I was doing this a few years ago, and I realized that I didn't dance. Like we were at a wedding, and I was like, I don't want to dance. What? Like it's not cool.
Dance.
Yeah, it was like, you know, like, and I noticed I would just kind of like stand and like, I was like, why am I not dancing and having fun?
Yeah.
And so like I unpacked it in a meditation like a few years ago.
Yes.
And I was like, holy shit, this is from ballet. Because when I was in ballet, I was like, you know, I loved it, but then it was like a private Christian school that I went to. And the parents, like one day, like they called my parents, like the other parents, or maybe it was a teacher. Someone called my parents like, hey, we think your son might be gay or something. I was in kindergarten.
Wait, you?
B.
And they called your parents?
Yeah, and,
No.
and then it became this whole thing. And I didn't even know what that meant or was. I'm in kindergarten or first grade or something. And then when I went to ballet class, I was the only boy in class. I didn't even realize that I was the only boy.
Sure, you wouldn't know. It's
I wouldn't
like, it
know.
doesn't even,
I was just like, these are, you know, like, you know, I don't know. Didn't register at all.
Who cares?
Exactly, who cares? But the girls like surrounded me in class and were like, you're not a real boy, you're not a real boy.
No.
Yeah. And
Oh my God, talk about trauma.
straight up trauma. And then like I came home crying and I was like, Dad, you know, like they said I'm not a real boy, and I was like, I'm never gonna dance again. And my dad and my mom were like, you don't have to keep doing this, but like we don't want you to stop.
Yeah.
Because like you're perfect the way you are.
Yeah.
And
Why do I feel like I'm gonna cry? That's so sweet.
my parents were so good about it, but it was so interesting because then I stopped dancing, and I didn't even realize like when I got into like my 20s,
Yep.
like where that all came from, because it
Yep.
was one thing after another, and then you don't even know where the root ever came from.
Yeah.
But unpacking that, I was like, wow, I sort of like, you can time travel, right? So like we're all linked even quantumly,
Yeah.
and time and space don't really exist. So it was really interesting to kind of go back and like meditate and like send that little boy like, I love you so much.
Yeah.
And I could remember these feelings that I would have even when I was little, of like a almost future self talking back to me. And you know how we get that sort of voice or that feeling
Yeah.
inside when there's like, it's like, you could say it's your future self or whatever you want, talking back to you, telling you things like, I love you, you're so special.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, to that boy, I'm like, you're amazing. He's just having
Yeah.
fun, lit up, bowl cut,
Yeah.
tights, like, you're so brave. And like saying that to that kid, well, like healed that kid who
Yeah.
was still there now.
Yeah.
It's time traveling.
Yeah.
And then now I love to dance.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah. Dancing's the best.
dancing's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
I cannot believe your school did that.
It was the 90s at a
So-
Christian school.
Dude, he does ballet. He might be gay. But yeah, that's really beautiful of your parents.
Yeah.
They seem wonderful.
My parents are awesome.
That's fucking
My
awesome. What do
parents
they
are so
do?
awesome. My mom is an occupational therapist still. So she works with kids with different special needs and like kids with Down syndrome and
That's wonderful.
different things. But I grew up going to school with those kids, like from really young to probably like 12.
Okay.
And they're like my homies.
Yeah.
And kids with Down syndrome are so cool.
So sweet.
I really think that they're angels.
Yeah.
Like, and in my mind, I'm like, yo, y'all got an extra chromosome,
Yep.
not a minus chromosome.
Yeah.
You have something that we don't. And they've done studies on people with Down syndrome. They've measured their brain waves, and they have the same like present awareness. They can see like the way it lights up in their brain as like a Tibetan monk meditating. And you can see that like a lot of those kids, they just say whatever they want, and they're like free, and they live, and they're present in the moment. And you know, it's like with anything, every gift also comes with the difficult side of it, you know, because there's of course difficulties that come along with that. But
why did you pick Jagwar Twin? Where'd you get that from?
My nerdy love of Mayan mythology.
Incredible. I would not expect anything less.
Yeah, I love mythology, and in the Mayan mythology, the jaguar is the creature that goes into the dark places.
Yep.
First within itself, and then can therefore like go into the dark places, into the unknown, into others, and into fear. And like it's the creature that can go into darkness and pull people out, or you know. And it's also, there's like this dual aspect of like light and dark in the twin element, and in the war within, in the mind and the heart. And a lot of like what I explore in my life, but also in my music, is light and darkness, and that there can be no light without darkness, and no darkness without light. And they're both so important. And it's even like exploring feminine and masculine, like universally speaking, not necessarily biologically, but just like the positive or like outputting force, and then like the receiving force, and how you need both, like a battery, and the mind and the left brain and the right brain being like, you know, balancing all the things in all aspects. And I just love exploring that. So that's sort of my mission with Jagwar Twin.
When did you start that project? A long time ago?
Wow. It was in I think maybe 2018.
As I was saying earlier, it's like you have so much theatrical inspiration, it seems like.
Definitely.
I mean, and then obviously that crosses over to the artwork of it and everything. It's fucking awesome. It's
Thank
really
you.
like interesting.
Thank you. It's been fun. I've been exploring a lot of my ancestors lately.
Sick.
Like my Polish, German, Russian, Slavic ancestors.
Slavic.
Like a lot of accordions and
amazing
tubas.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been fun. Wait, okay, so why do you think you decided to become an actor?
It's almost, I've done it forever. Our aunt, my mom's sister, was a pretty successful costumer. And when we were younger, super young, I mean, literally like 2, she was like, you should get the girls into print work. And we did, and we loved it. And we did a lot of print work, and then started getting into commercials. And then I started doing a lot of musical theater, and then kind of went like the normal, quote unquote, school route. My sister just kind of started getting into TV and kind of just never stopped working, but I went to school and kind of stopped doing that. And then I became a dancer solely, worked as a dancer out of high school, decided that was not what I wanted to actually do, and really missed acting and singing. And it kind of just like, I was like, I just think I want to get back into it. And then just been on the fucking grind ever since. That was, I don't know, a decade ago or something.
Dang.
And I'm just now like starting to believe that I deserve to be here.
Whoa.
You know? It's tough. First of all, it's the greatest job in the world when you get to do it. But you know, I mean, I'm sure obviously you've been seeing with all the strikes, I'm sure. It's crazy. It's a wild job. Like the stat, so in SAG, you have to make $27,000 in order to qualify for health insurance, which is like such a menial amount of money.
Sure.
And the stat is only 86 or 87% of SAG members make that much in order to qualify. That's how hard this job is, and like how much the cards are sort of stacked against you. I don't like to look at it that way, but like it's hard, you know. And like there's so much out of your control. Like I can do my best work and be my best self, but there's also, I remember a casting director who my agent represents told her once that like for every one role they get 4,000 submissions for one role. And it's like you could be great and you do great work, but like, no, they actually just wanted a blonde girl, or you're too tall,
sure,
or the director has worked with this other girl before and they like her better. They just want her. There's just, it's so many things that are out of your control, which I've now learned to just like use that as something empowering rather than something that gives me anxiety. Because it's like, instead it's like, great, I'm either the person or I'm not. This is my version of it. This is what I'll bring to this role. This is who I see this person to be. And it's either it or it's not. And then the rest of my life is fucking full. I love my life. I love my friends. I'm good. And it's fine. You know? I don't know how I just went on that tangent. But it's a wild business. And it's the best thing in the world when you get to do it.
I feel like that's such... acting to me seems more difficult than being a musical artist.
I don't know. It's all fucking hard. You guys tour. You're away from home. I mean, some people love that life. I think it would be really tough for me.
I guess I say hard in the sense that I guess I'm only looking at it from my perspective too, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But to me, it seems like the journey that we're on, it's like the whole goal of whatever we're doing with whatever we decide to do as our job, occupation, is to learn who you are over your lifetime. And so I think art is a really great way to do that and maybe even accelerate that process, because to be successful as an artist, as a musician, as an actor, as whatever, you have to know yourself to such a depth to be able to do it well. Like, and for me, acting, you have to know yourself so well that you can shed yourself and become, or let something else inhabit you, but also keeping like the logic and like, well, these are the lines, but then I also am letting go. And then I think like even the auditioning process and all the, you know, what you were describing of like the letting go and that, it's such a useful tool that helps you to know yourself. And there's some of that in music too, like to make good music and to be an artist, there's like a lot of self-discovery that has to happen. And when things aren't happening, evaluating why they're not happening. And it's always you. At the end of the day, it's always you. You can blame and have every justified right to blame someone else. Like I've had crazy experiences in music of people, but at the end of it, I'm like, well, I could have seen that coming.
Right.
I had this gut feeling about this person or this situation, and I didn't trust it. I trusted my logic and my head, and I could have avoided that had I known myself more and trusted my sort of internal compass. And I think that's sort of at the end of whatever we're doing, that's the goal, is to learn how to trust that internal compass, your heart or your guardian angel or God or whatever, however you want to articulate that thing in here that knows before this knows.
By the way, we always know, don't we?
We always know.
Always know. You feel it in your gut and you fucking don't listen to it. It is like, we always know.
We always know, and learning how to trust yourself is the whole thing.
Well, yeah, or maybe knowing the thing that you don't want to face. It's like just like leaning into that, you know?
Yes.
And I would also say acting is also knowing other people. Like that's what it is too, is like observing other people and like why they do the thing that they do, so you can justify the reason you're doing it as this character or whatever. Because otherwise you won't believe it, then the audience won't believe it.
And I think it's an important exercise. Like we're all capable of the highest amount of good you can imagine in the world, to the highest level, to Christ level. We're all capable, but we're also all capable of the highest amount of evil.
Well, no one wants to think of themselves as the bad one. Everyone thinks everyone's their own hero in their own story. Right? So it's much easier to play Nelson Mandela than it is to play a Hitler character or something. You know?
Especially in your own inner monologue.
Yeah, of course.
We're all Nelson Mandela.
Of course.
You know, I'm Thor.
I'm incredible.
Yeah.
I would never do that to somebody. You know?
But then you confront your shadows.
I
And those
know.
are extreme examples.
Yeah, of course.
But then like, to varying degrees in every moment and every decision, we're playing varying degrees of the one character.
Yeah. Wait. Sometimes, like, my memory is shocking. Like, I'm actually worried sometimes. Like, I don't really remember anything. It's really bad.
Now, you know what it means? That means you're very present in the moment.
Thank you. You know what? I'll take that. If I eat shit right now, I will die laughing.
Don't do that.
Please just get it on camera.
Yeah. It'll be great for the episode.
It'll be incredible.
Ooh, it smells really good right here.
Yeah, it does. It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh. It's like minty.
It is.
It smells like a mint julep.
You don't drink, right?
No.
Is
Well,
that how-
that's not true. I
You
drink
do,
every
but you
day.
don't. Well, you know what I mean, Roy. You don't drink alcohol.
No.
Do you consider yourself sober, or you just like don't drink and you do sometimes?
I consider myself no thing.
I'm so sorry I keep doing that. I don't mean to
Stop trying
pigeonhole
to
you.
define me.
I don't mean
Bree.
to Enneagram you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really like say I'm sober or say I don't drink, but I just don't.
When was the last time was it like a conscious thing or just kind of happened?
It was a conscious thing. The last time I drank was probably, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, and it was like I had one champagne,
And you were like, I'm chill.
and I was like, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
I used to feel like I needed to drink just like to have a couple to feel loose in like a social
Totally.
situation, and then
Totally.
I was like, this is a crutch, and I don't need this, and so yeah, I would like when I stopped, I would try it, and I'd be okay. Let me have like a drink or two, and just see if I like feel better or worse once I got to a certain point.
Yep.
And I'd be like, I'm not as aware now, and I can't perceive what's going on as much if I have a drink. So I'm actually gonna have more fun if I don't have a drink.
Totally.
But I think that was a process. I understand why and how it can help some people,
Totally.
or just be fun.
Yeah. I like a drink, but I don't ever feel like I've ever had like an issue with it or anything.
Yeah. And you don't strike me as a person who has a addictive
Yeah, I don't.
personality.
I'm very addictive with like routine. I'm a very routine person. Love my workout in the morning, coffee, I do my journaling, I do, like that's something I'm addicted to, but I don't,
Yeah, that's good.
yeah. It just makes me feel my best. And selfishly, I want to feel my best.
That's it. Is that selfish?
No, I also think then it makes me the best partner I can be in that day, the best friend or the best sister. Even like if I have a call, like if my call time's at fucking 4 a.m, I will get up at 2.
Like today?
Yeah, it's today.
Yeah.
Like got up at 4, and even then kind of wasn't enough. Like I sort of wish I set my alarm
Yeah.
for 3:30.
Yeah, yeah.
So I could have a little more time.
Yeah, me too.
But even having that like 30, 45 minutes just like downstairs alone in the quiet, listening to like piano. It's my favorite. When I got in the
Same.
car, you had classical,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Thought it was practical magic for a second. It was not.
It should have been Practical Magic.
I gotta watch that.
It was basically Practical Magic.
Incredible.
I watched that for the first time maybe last year.
Incredible film.
Great film.
Great film.
I've watched The Nightmare Before Christmas twice already. You've never seen it?
I don't know why.
You're
I
getting
don't-
married to Brian Logan Dales and you've
Does
never...
he love that?
Actually, I don't know if he does.
I was like, is that something that I don't know?
But in my mind, it just feels like he would.
Listen, most people do. I am the odd man out here. I don't know
Well, you're
why.
not allowed to watch it when you were a kid, because I wasn't.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I wanted to get the TLC album as a kid. My parents wouldn't let me get it because it said sexy on it.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy, sexy, cool shit. My mom was like, no. And then I would go to my friend Danielle's house and just like blast waterfalls. And I'd go home and be
Wow.
like, my mom doesn't let me listen to it.
Wow. My parents wouldn't let me listen to Eminem, which I kind of understand why.
Of course, same.
But I bootlegged it on tape.
Of course.
When it would come on the radio.
Tape.
Yeah, on cassette
Yes,
tape.
cassette.
Yeah.
Wow, a simpler time.
I know.
Napster?
Yeah.
Bro, loved Napster.
I was a LimeWire.
And that, I loved all of it.
Yeah.
Didn't care. I didn't discriminate. I just wanted
Free
the tunes.
music. No, now all music is free.
I know. It's crazy. I don't know how y'all make any money on Spotify.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's why I was like,
Crazy.
I have a gold record
Dude.
now, and I moved back in with my parents.
No.
The other day I was like, there was this raffia hat that I really wanted.
Okay.
Like, you know, like raffia is like this, like, do you know what it looks like? It's sort of like what chairs are made of, like wicker kind of.
Okay.
Like an old lady looking hat. And I was like, this is so fire. But it's $575. And I was staring at it like,
Shit, can I get
I really
this?
want this. And then all of a sudden it hit me. I was like, I'm seriously debating buying a $575 raffia hat when I don't have a house.
Oh, God. That is crazy. I remember Brian tried to explain to me, like, if you had 1 million streams and, like, you own whatever, and, like, kind of gave me the figure how much you'd actually make. I was like, that is wild. That's wild.
It's pretty wild.
Like, what?
Yeah,
Ay.
I know.
Not that this is helpful, me saying how wild it is, because it's not changing anything, but
No, but I think
it's a
it's
bummer.
like, I don't
Is
even
that
know if it's a
changing?
bummer though. I think it's just,
yeah, you're right. Don't look at it like that.
I think it's just a different way that now artists have to learn something more about themselves. Like before you just like, you made music and that was it.
Yeah.
And now it's like you have to bridge it a little more.
Right.
Into like, how are you gonna make one? It's not just on the music. Music's almost like, as much as I don't like to say it, it's like the secondary thing.
Yeah.
And then,
Do you do TikTok too?
yeah,
I mean, you have to.
you have to. But I've actually found it really fun.
That's good.
At first I was like, fuck this
Shit.
shit. What is this? But now I'm like, it's kind of fun.
Isn't it? I don't do TikTok. I'm only on Instagram. It's like too much socials for me. But isn't TikTok easier for people to discover? Like just the way the algorithm is. It's
Yeah.
like the whole point of the platform is you get discovered by people that don't follow you.
Yeah, and that's what's so interesting is on TikTok, it's different than Instagram in the sense that on Instagram, you have like your followers.
Yeah.
And you know, those are the people who are going to see your content. On TikTok, it's mostly not your followers who see it.
Right.
So it's not even about really how many followers you have necessarily.
Right.
It's what the TikToks are doing in the algorithm.
Right.
So you could not have a lot of followers and be getting a ton of engagement and a ton of people seeing your stuff.
That's nice. I mean, I get why people go on there. I'm just like, I can't do it. I just like refuse.
Fair enough.
Instagram's enough.
And that reminds me that I need to set up another day with Brian. 'Cause
Yeah.
he had an idea and I want to do it.
I told you, it's like, it's the only co-write that he enjoys is with you. And
I
Benny.
love writing with Brian.
He doesn't love a co-write. He feels like he's not good at them. I feel like he's just telling himself that. He's like, I'm better when I'm by myself. But he's like, with you,
He was good.
Really
He was good when
Well,
we were there.
You're a very like free, open, very like accepting person. So I feel like that's the environment that you create when you write. And he needs that. And he really
Yeah.
loves it. Like he comes home and he's so happy. It's so cute.
I feel like, well, he's also very yes and. And it's hard to do co-writes when it's like you're just working with blockers. And sometimes it's useful to have hole pokers in the session.
Totally.
Like Brian and I together could maybe use one hole poker.
Totally.
Because we're just like, yes.
Is Benny not that?
Benny's
He's so sweet
not
too.
a hole poker. Benny's more just like, I'm up for anything,
Yeah,
you guys,
yeah.
and that which is great. But yeah, hole hole pokers are hard, but sometimes you need them.
Yeah.
But they gotta be the right kind of hole pokers.
Totally.
They gotta be ones who are like, I get what you're trying to do and I see the vision. Not like, I don't get that, stop, block flow.
I mean, I feel like that's also in life, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's very,
Of like
very
being
real.
able to disagree with someone, but like not in a way that puts them down or like shuts them down, you know?
Right. You disagree, but like I understand where you're
I
coming
actually
from.
see where you're coming from, and I love you.
Yeah.
Here's my perspective on that.
Right.
Wonder if I'll ever stop sniffing.
Probably.
I honestly, at this point, I'm telling you, my whole life.
Really?
Oh my God.
Your whole life?
And food
What do you
allergies. Like my
mean?
whole body is just sensitive to everything. Which I try not to really have that frame of mind because I don't know. It's like that's not helpful. But
Have you ever read Joe Dispenza?
no, I've listened to him. I've listened to some of his meditations. I think he's great. He's an interesting guy. I listened to some, the way he speaks, he's so slow. And like, I sometimes feel like I'm like, he's like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, yeah.
But
I'm
his
like, bro,
book,
stop talking to me like that. Like,
his
I'm a
book is
fucking
really
grown
good.
ass woman.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I think he's wonderful. I know he's helped a lot of people.
Sure. But also you've done so much of that.
I'm just like,
kind of
stop
thing.
talking to me like I'm 11.
But he has this book called Becoming Supernatural. That's why I brought it up.
Okay.
Because a lot of actors read it.
Oh.
And it's really interesting about like
All right, I'm gonna
the
look
mind,
into
the
that.
body.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an acting book in a way, I guess.
that.
I'm not an actor, but I read it and I was like, oh, this is
Yeah, you do.
crazy.
You act all the time on stage and in your videos and stuff, and
No,
with your work.
I'm unacting. That's what I'm
That's
trying
good.
to do.
But acting is unacting.
You're right.
Acting is just telling the truth. Ew, I'm so
Ooh,
gross.
wow, there you
It's
go.
true though.
It's real. That's
If
real
it's not the
talk.
truth, then no one's gonna believe you.
You heard it here first. If it's not the truth, no one's gonna believe you.
Listen. Okay, bye.